guys, this is Audify.me.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the first showcase of Audify.me. I'm Hassan. It's my absolute pleasure to be able to introduce our revolutionary study app. Before we see it though, let's meet the team. At the helm of the ship, we've got Elliot, who is our project manager. We've also got Yasif and Denise working on the back end. Me, myself, I was working on the front end, and Amal was our designated tester. So, what is the problem we were trying to solve? We believe there is a gap in our ability to listen to information and our ability to retain that information. Whether you're in a lecture or in a business meeting, we all would love to remember the most essential details on demand right after or whenever we need. So we want to unlock the power of speech. 3 key issues associated with that is that speech isn't digitalized. It's often recorded, but very rarely transcribed. And even when it is, it's word for word, and that's not very useful to people. Note-taking is also very difficult, and we want to completely remove that question in people's mind of, should I be writing this down? This will allow people to fully focus on what's being said. Also, finally, the notes that people write are very manual, and it's very hard to expand upon them or shorten them. And people usually want a creative outlet for this information, something simple and sleek. So, which demographics would solving our problem at hand affect? These are the 3 key groups that we identified: students, companies, and government. All of these groups suffer from information slipping through the cracks, but we decided to focus on the education market. We felt that we best understood the requirements and needs for students and teachers, as we're currently students too, soon to be graduates. So, what would our product for students and teachers look like? It would look like Audify. Audify allows a student or a teacher to record a lecture, and in close to real time, we can find that transcript for that lecture. Once we get the transcript, we can summarize it using ChatGPT in a clear and understandable fashion. And once we have that, we give the user all the utilities to be able to expand that information and do what they please using AI. For our stakeholder analysis, we had to take regulatory bodies into consideration, as our users are recording audio with multiple parties having access, so there might be some privacy issues that we need to be aware of. We consider this group to be high influence but low interest. On the high influence and high interest side, we've got universities and schools, as we can see in the future that these groups can subscribe for their students en masse, and so that they can all have access to our service. And I'll pass you on to Denise, who will talk a bit about planning.
Thank you, Hassan. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I'm excited to walk you through the 4 steps we've taken in planning and creating our audio summarization app. Project scope and objectives. We began by defining our project's goals. Our aim was to develop an app that extracts audio content from YouTube, uploaded files, or user recordings and provides concise summaries through ChatGPT. These objectives guided our development process. Target audience. Understanding our target audience was paramount. We identified users who needed quick summaries of audio content. By tailoring the app's features to their needs, we ensured its relevance and utility. Features and functionality. In this phase, we outlined the core features our app should have. Users can select video sources, convert audio to text, and generate summaries using ChatGPT. We also have a very sleek text editor, which we will be shown later. Data flow. We meticulously mapped out data flow within the app. This ensured a smooth journey from capturing audio to converting it to text and sending it to ChatGPT for summarization. These wireframes are essentially blueprints that outline the layout and structure of our app's screens. On the summary page at the top, we needed to implement modifications to create a cleaner and more user-friendly appearance for our users. Next, technology. Here are the list of cutting-edge technology we use for our project. At the core of our app summarization capabilities, we've seamlessly integrated ChatGPT. Our app offers the capability to convert audio into text, a feature made possible by Assembly AI. Ensuring a secure and real-time changes, we've incorporated Firebase for data management. I will now pass it on to Elliot for the demo.
Afternoon everyone, and I'm really proud to be introducing you to Audify.me. We start big and brash with a big statement, stop taking notes, which in many ways is at the heart of what our website is all about. Elsewhere we've got a bit of an overview of some of our features, but let's get straight into the good stuff and log in. Here's the dashboard, and we have useful information such as my classes, some statistics, and even some recent summaries, either ones that I've created or that I've been invited to. Let me show you the first feature. This is the summarize video feature. I enter a YouTube URL and I hit summarize. What's happening behind the scenes is we're extracting the subtitles from that YouTube video and then we're sending them to ChatGPT. From there, ChatGPT removes the superfluous and gets at the crux of whatever the video is about. So you don't have to spend 15 minutes watching a cooking video just to get the recipe. It appears as quick as that with instructions and gives you an overview of everything you need to do. One of the big parts of our website is the ability to record live and get text turned into a nice little summary, all from voice. So you can create your own ones and you can add tags and so forth. I'm going to add a tag. I can invite people to view it even. Add, so that when I make it private, only I and Hassan can see it. But I'm not going to do that because I happen to know there's currently a recording in session. So I'm going to go back to my dashboard here and I'm going to click on the Audify presentation. And right, here we are. This is live. This has been recording live. I can't record myself because I don't have the permission for that. That's someone else. But everything's here, and as new summaries drop in, they will appear. And I can do all manner of things here. I can write a comment, I can expand or shorten. So I can say, this summary is a bit too long for me, I want it shortened. I confirm, again, sends it to ChatGPT, and boom, it gets shortened and summarized and nicely compressed. Right, moving on. We can add comments. So I can say, is this in real time? And that comment gets shown to everyone else, and if someone happens to be watching and who knows the answer, they'll reply. There we go, Hassan knows the answer and he's replied, and just before that you saw a new summary dropping. This happens constantly, always being recorded. We're always doing this in close to real time. If there's a concept I'm unfamiliar with, let's say I'm living in the dark ages and I don't know what YouTube is, I can click the question mark and it gives me a 1 to 2 sentence summary of whatever it is. So if I'm unsure of a concept, I can find out about it right there in the website. Let's say the class or the lecture or the lesson is over and I want to extend my knowledge. I want to get a leg up on the competition. In that case, I can just click Learn More Now, and again, through the magic of ChatGPT, we'll find out what we should learn next. It suggests exploring natural language processing techniques and advanced algorithms. All very on point for our website. I'm now going to pass you to Amal, who's going to talk about testing.
Thanks, Elliot. Hi, everyone. So in terms of our test coverage, we managed to cover a decent amount, achieving 74% for the front end and 83% for the back end. Throughout the development of our website, we encountered several challenges that required thoughtful solutions. For example, the challenge of synchronizing both our Firestore and PostgreSQL databases. We made sure that the data was aligned between the two platforms, allowing us to prevent any data inconsistencies. Another challenge we faced was streaming and transcribing audio in real time to ensure that accurate and up-to-date transcription was shown to the user. We solved this by utilizing Assembly AI to first transcribe the audio, ChatGPT to then summarize the text, and then storing that summarized text in Firebase. This allowed for a seamless real-time access to the summarized content for our users. We also felt that it was best to have a custom toolbar to have more control over the editor. In order to achieve this, we utilized the Slate framework to build a more flexible toolbar that allowed for actions such as highlighting, bolding, and providing further insights into specific sections of a summary. And lastly, the challenge of managing the integration of multiple React components. We utilized React context and state to ensure that all the components were coordinated. I'll now pass you on to Yasif, who will take you through the significant code.
Thank you, Amal. So I'm going to talk to you some significant code that me and my team are proud of. So for our first piece of code we got here is that it allows the user to summarize the YouTube video and to get some bullet points on what to learn on next related to that video. It does this by first fetching the subtitles of that video once you input the YouTube URL. Then we send our subtitles to ChatGPT API to summarize the content for you. While that's happening, we also store the exact same content in a Firestore database, so you can always keep your work safe and look back at it. On the second piece of code, it's for a feature which you can record your audio, and we return the audio into summarized text as you see in the demo. The upload audio function on the left side creates a file name that turns audio stream into chunks, sent to the back end to be summarized. We are dealing with a lot of states in the handler function, like pausing, stopping, and starting the recording. But once it gets sent to the backend on the right side, as you can see, we first store the data in our backend and then our Firestore. We do this so we can upload it to Assembly AI. What Assembly AI does, transcribes the text, so it turns the audio into text for us. We redefine the prompt, send to the API for the best result, and finally send that transcribed text to ChatGPT API to be summarized, which we also end up storing in a Firestore database. These are small pieces of a very large process that we had to go through to get the users to summary the desire in real time. For our future features, we want students whose English is not their first language to be able to attend the lecture and let it capture the teacher's audio and get a real-time summary in the language they desire, which would really help them in their studies. For the second feature we had in mind is a fact checker. So once the content is summarized into little summaries, each block of a summary would have a little fact checker, which gives back a percentage on the side telling you how factually correct that chunk of summary is. And for our final feature is to integrate our app into Zoom. We are aware that Zoom now allows third-party apps, and we'd love to be able to give the student the ability to use our app to help them study, or for companies to start using it to summarize important meetings they are unable to attend. That concludes our presentation. Thank you for listening. Does anyone have any questions?
Again, amazing app. Really well done, guys. I feel like I'm on repeat saying that, but it's really, really unbelievable what you've done in a fortnight. I'll start with the question that has an insane number of upvotes from Oliver. How does the app deal with maths-based lectures? Can it translate speech into mathematical symbols?
Yeah, I can take that if that's all right. So the reason we use Slate was because of how editable it was. You can kind of layer on extra parts to it. So currently we don't have the part that you can see equations with, but that is something that we can definitely implement in the future. I guess the limiting factor would be the audio transcriber. We're not quite sure how Assembly AI would react with a mathematical lecture. So I guess in the future, we would have to kind of shop around to see if it works or if we need to move on to a different software.
Nice. Thank you, Hassan. And I've just noticed that Elliot has responded to a couple of the questions in the chat to, I think, Harry's question and one more from YF, I believe. So we'll take those as done. Thank you for answering those, Elliot. One final question from Tom. Could you talk a little bit more about how you ran testing with so many APIs in there?
Yeah, I can take this one. So yeah, the process that we basically went through was, in order to test the multiple APIs, we first had to look into the functionality of each API, so transcription from Assembly API and the real-time updates through Firebase. And then once we were able to understand the various functionalities of the APIs through looking at the relevant documentations and how they were all going to interact with each other, it was just a matter of creating mocks that reflect the API's behavior and then testing the different scenarios.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much, Amal. So that concludes today's presentations for the Liskov cohort. It's been a really, really brilliant 3 months with all of you. I feel unbelievably privileged to have been a part of it. I know the rest of the training team are going to extend that to you shortly. It is unbelievable to see what you've achieved, and the amount of hard work that has gone on in the last 2 weeks especially has been awe-inspiring. Really, really well done. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone that's taken the time to come along today. We'll be looking to catch up with you, with as many of you as possible, to sort of get feedback on the presentations and everything like that. But hopefully today has kind of clarified the Academy program for you a little bit and sort of brought it to life a little bit more. A huge congratulations once again to our ListGov cohort. It's been an incredibly intense 12 weeks, but just look at what you've achieved. Really well done, everyone. Thank you so much to everyone on the call for joining us today. Take care and have a lovely weekend.